Welcome back to another episode of Life and Pinstripes. I'm TJ Stoltenberg.
I'm James Yellen.
And this is episode number 35.
Moose! Mike Musino!
You know, I haven't thought of him in a while.
Well, because we haven't had a solid pitcher that we're in number 35. I could have said Michael Pineda, but he's a lost cause anyway.
Dude, the Moose. I remember he never threw very hard, but he was crafty. He was a pitcher's pitcher.
Yeah, I also remember 2008 was the first ever full season I ever watched baseball. I remember watching Moose and his 20 wins, and then he retired the next year. I'm like, why?
Think real quick, because by the way, folks, we're almost baseballed out, because guess what? Baseball's over, and we're only going to talk baseball for just a brief second.
Yeah.
Because there's so much more to talk about now.
Well, the door is practically open to the other sports, to the NFL, to the NBA.
And to things like the fact that there's a bunny rabbit in the corner of the room.
Yes, so if you hear that noise, she's drinking her water right now.
He's a teacher, and he has the pet that you take home for the weekend, and it's his turn. So Rose, the black bunny, is sucking down some water right now.
Yes.
That's awesome, by the way. She
is the prettiest bunny in the whole wide world.
It's a funny name for an animal, Rose, because I'm sure she's beautiful like a one, but doesn't smell like it.
She has moments. But mostly she doesn't smell. Especially when she runs around the place and she leaves nice little pellets on the ground.
You know what does smell?
What?
AJ Hinch.
Oh, yeah, he left a very rough smell.
Rough odor in the air and rough feels for the Astros fans. Now, real quick, we just want to say AJ Hinch is the manager of the Houston Astros.
He led them to the World Series in 2017, their first ever title.
Yes. Weird thing, by the way, real quick. He's been the Astros manager for 5 seasons. Only one World Series win, and I could swear they won it more than once.
It's just the way
been there.
It's the style of the game they play, the young core that they got, the young core that makes everybody jealous, by the way.
And I will say this. It was the Red Sox and Dodgers last year, right?
Yes.
And then it was the Astros
and Nationals this year. Oh, Astros and Dodgers.
Year before that.
Oh, Astros and Dodgers in 2017.
Astros won that?
Yes.
And did the Astros, the year before that?
The year before that, they didn't make the playoffs, but in 2015, they made it to the Division Series, eventually losing to the eventual world champion Kansas City Royals.
Oh, okay. Point was, AJ Hinch, he's had quite a successful team there.
Oh, yeah.
And weird stuff happened. You know, we're not going to get too into it, but I just want to say, Game 7, you had a 2-0 lead. Max Scherzer, who we're going to expand on in a second.
Yes.
A lot of love for him. You were up 2-0. Greinke was dealing.
Yep.
And then, yes, he gives up a home run to
Rendon,
who was an absolute animal, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap.
He's a free agent at this year. He's making a case to make some solid change.
Oh, he's going to make some big money.
Yeah.
Cole is, too.
Oh, yes.
Rendon, what I really like about him is his stance. It's so laissez-faire. It's so...
First of all, I think he is the most underrated player because his stats are just ridiculous. He hits 35 and drives in like 115.
Did you see that stat thing they showed where after all of his at-bats in the playoffs after the 7th inning, it was walk, double, home run, walk, double, home run.
So he gets on base.
And it gets on base. He hits home runs and doubles, and then, of course, gets on base by walking. But point was, he hadn't gotten out yet after the 7th inning. What Buster only said best was, Anthony Rendon, cool as a cucumber. He is so calm.
You figure with the Nationals being in their first ever World Series, you figure they'd be a little...
but you know what? A lot of veteran presence there. Remember Game 1? They were already losing, and it was like, oh boy, can we even do this? And it was Zimmerman, who's been with the Nationals since they became the Nationals. He was their first draft pick there.
Yep.
He's ridden through terrible years there, and he's the one that cracked it off. He hit the home run off of Cole, and it was like, hey, yeah, we can do this, by the way. He made the team realize we belong here. We can do this. And Howie Kendrick, another veteran presence, just huge home runs.
First of all, his started with that grand slam against the Dodgers. That's when it all started.
That was Game 5.
That was Game 5. Yep, the do or die game in Los Angeles, and that made every baseball fan imaginable just shocked out of their mind.
And then he had the 2-run home run to take the lead to win, be up 3-2.
Did you see that home run, by the way? That he hit?
No, I heard it.
It was like a little screamer down right field line and hit the foul pole.
So real quick, AJ Hinch, we think you pulled Greinke a little early there because not only was he dealing, but it would have made sense if you pulled him for the best pitcher in baseball, Cole.
Possibly.
Who was warming up in the bullpen?
He probably could have been a Cy Young candidate. If not a Cy Young winner.
He didn't lose for an entire, 3 months, it felt like. He went 19 or 20 decisions in a row without a loss.
Before that Game 1 loss.
Yeah. But he did come back and have a lights-out performance after that. I will say this. Confused that you didn't go with Cole.
You know what it looked like? It looked like he pulled a boonie there for a second, pulling someone out there.
Yeah. I don't want to make that a thing now.
I don't want to make it a thing, but it sounded...
We're not going to make Boone be the guy who's linked to pulling people too early, but he did. And question was, Greinke was not only dealing, but it is no tomorrow time. You don't...
It's Game 7!
Yeah, you don't make excuses like he did, such as... Well, I didn't want Cole to come in mid-inning. He needed to have a fresh inning.
That's Bush League.
That's BS. And no, who cares if they're comfortable or not comfortable? It is no tomorrow. Every out mattered. And literally, a couple of pitches into your decision to go with somebody else, the game wasn't yours anymore.
He must have really trusted that bullpen to death.
And he went with a couple of them.
He went with Will Harris, who was actually pretty solid. I mean, I was kind of afraid of him when we faced him.
Yeah, he was nasty against us.
And then he gave up that 2-run home run. You're like, ooh.
And then there was Ozuna, who threw 40 pitches.
Yep, he sucked.
And then there was another one in there. But it doesn't matter.
The point is that the Astros messed it up in do or die Game 7. Practically just giving the championship to the Washington Nationals.
We gotta tip our cap. Freaking crazy that every road team won in that World Series.
Ever, in
any sport.
Nobody.
Basketball, any sport that has
nobody won at home.
No home team won.
That's
amazing. And especially games 6 and 7 for the Nationals.
Yeah, it's like it's like if you're the home team, you gotta win game 6.
It's as if they put more pressure on themselves in front of their own fans.
It's like, does home field advantage matter anymore?
It makes you question that, doesn't it?
What?
And also, Astros finally turning it on, winning 3 straight in DC.
I thought they were automatically. I'm like, okay, Astros are probably waving that banner next game. But no!
Gotta tip the cap to the Nationals. And wow, Max Scherzer. Gritty performance, Game 7.
I love gritty performances. That almost reminded me of the bloody sock from Kurt Schilling.
Yes.
He had neck spasms, back spasms. He couldn't even dress himself. During an interview, he looked like he was in so much pain. And he gets out and he pitches to practically his death.
Yeah, it was life or death. That's the guy, and that's the type of energy you need to have Game 7. That's what I want to see. That's somebody I want to get up to the plate for and get a hit.
Someone you want to root for.
I love that. And yeah, he threw 5 innings, gave up 2 runs, but it was a gritty performance.
Think it this way: he gave up 2 runs to a really tough Houston lineup.
Yeah, it could have been worse. And when Correa hit that ball down the line that Rendon did just get a glove on, he bent but never broke.
No.
That is Scherzer, man. And yes, I gotta give the love to Steven Strasburg. Big performance in Game 6, getting into the ninth inning. God bless, that was awesome. But you know what? Here's the major turning point, I think, was in this World Series.
Yes, I can't wait to talk about this, by the way.
Alex Bregman's bat carry.
Ooh.
Which was responded with Juan Soto's bat carry.
Can you tell that, who would you rather have on your team, Juan Soto or Ronald Acuna? I would choose Juan Soto.
Well,
I will tell you this because of what we saw.
I was not only blown away by how Juan Soto was playing, but his age, man.
He just turned 21 last week, I think it was.
He, in games 1 and 2, was lights out. He learned from a first at-bat, striking out on fastballs to Cole. Then he hit a ball further as a lefty to the opposite field up in the train tracks.
The longest home run in Minute Maid Park I've ever seen.
No one's ever done that to opposite field as a lefty. And The guy is calm. He is a very wise hitter. He takes great approaches. And the thing that blew my mind was he had kind of lost the mojo a little bit in those middle of the games of the series.
Oh, at home?
The Nationals,
the entire offense just like shut down.
They weren't close games. It
was like 6-run leads, then grand slams, and then hitters that were cold started getting hot.
I believe it was accidental, but
excuse me.
The situation is this: for those of you who do not know, Alex Bregman on Houston. They were down 1-0 early. He hits a game-tying home run in like the first inning or whatever.
Yep.
To make it 1-1. He showboats. He carries his bat all the way down and past first base. Now, for those of you who don't know, that's basically an unwritten rule of not cool. That's a little big FU to the other team.
Yeah, that's how you let the kids play. Yeah, no, sorry. You got to show at least a little bit of respect. I thought that was a little disrespectful.
It was like the same equivalent of hitting a 3 and hanging that arm up all the way back down the court.
Or making a slam dunk and holding the netting pretty much.
And it's just not done. And he rounds first, he gets home. You know what that ended up doing? It ended up pissing off the enemy. And especially Juan Soto.
Oh, yes!
Never give any reason. Like, back when we were talking about the Yankees and Astros, don't change when Tanaka was taken out and Ottavino came in. Why even give the other team a positive thought? Because they couldn't hit Tanaka. Why make them be like, yes, thank God he's out?
Well, let's be honest. I don't think the Astros were really thinking that the Nationals were going to take advantage of that. But
they weren't even. Yeah, of course they weren't thinking that. No one's thinking that in the moment. Everyone was actually thinking, ooh, crap. Because you saw Altuve go over and talk to Bregman. You saw everybody talk to Bregman.
Yeah.
Because he's not really that kind of guy.
No, not a chance.
I do believe him when he was actually apologizing. He did come back in his next plate appearance, try to apologize to Yan Gomes, the catcher, but Yan Gomes wasn't having it.
You know
he wasn't even looking at him.
He's a very passionate player. You're playing in the World Series. Mm-hmm. You can't help but get excited over the little things like that. Like, how do you think Jose Bautista felt after that bat?
Oh, yeah. That was awesome when he hit the home run for Toronto.
Yeah.
That was a couple years back when Toronto had a good push in the playoffs. Yeah, he hits a home run, he goes, throws the bat really far.
Yep, and then, of course, we know what happened against the Yankees.
No, they actually don't. You got to tell them, James.
Okay, what happened was that...
Because they don't know who Jose Bautista is.
After the Jose Bautista home run that sent the Blue Jays to the American League Championship Series... The next season, when it was the Blue Jays and the Rangers facing off in the regular season, I think it was a game in May, Jose Bautista did like a dirty slide to Rougned Odor, and then Rougned Odor went like that to Bautista's face.
Punched him right in the face.
And you could see, like in slow motion, like he just literally just went like, whoa!
Players do not forget. And they still think that the Nationals next season will, I don't think they're going to retaliate because they ended up winning and it didn't matter.
Of course.
But the best retaliation was, and I know people didn't like, or coaches didn't like it, but what you did was you pissed off the wrong people. And Juan Soto, who kind of lost that mojo a little bit, you saw it. His next at-bat, his arms were moving, that flow came back.
Game was tied, and then
boom.
Uh-oh.
Hits a bomb.
Holds the bat.
So.
And then it goes like that, pretty much.
Now, Juan Soto carries the bat all the way past first base.
Yep.
And slowly trots around the bases. Now, I love it. You do it on the field. I personally love it. I know the first base coach didn't like it. He picked up the bat and threw it back in disgust.
That's the best retaliation you could possibly do.
I love it because
I don't care. That was awesome.
You heard it in the postgame interview, like, oh, what did you feel about that? He's like, well, I saw Bregman do it. And it looked awesome, so I wanted to do it. That was such a 21-year-old answer.
That is such a 21-year-old. But obviously,
it was a grown man response on the field. That is awesome. That home run was so cool. And yeah, I don't think Bregman meant to do this, but more than excite his team, he ended up awakening the other team and getting that do or die mentality. Made them wolves. And we know what else happens. The rest is history. Congratulations to the Washington Nationals.
First ever World Series title in franchise history. You know what it is? I want to talk about this. The last few seasons, first round exit. Each lost absolute sheer disappointment. They finally get over that bump and they beat the big badass Astros to win the title. That's it. It's the opponent they face. The obstacles they face, losing Bryce Harper, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that!
It goes to show, paying one guy a ton of money is not how you're going to win. I mean, what did the Padres do? Did their wins go up a lot by getting Manny Machado?
They really didn't do much.
Didn't do much. So I don't think we're going to see gigantic contracts like that, other than people like people that deserve it, like a Mike Trout.
Mike Trout, yeah.
And real quick note, I didn't like Garrett Cole. The fact that I think he must have been mad he didn't go in or whatever, but post-game interview, did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
He was wearing his agent's hat. What's his agent's name? Scott Boras?
Yeah.
He wasn't wearing an Astros hat anymore.
He was pretty much just saying, like, yeah.
I'm leaving.
It's been real Astros, like, oh.
He said, I learned a lot in Houston. It was great. But that sounds like a man who's leaving. But I thought that was kind of disrespectful. Right after you lose the World Series,
and not to mention you're on a team. Not to mention you're on a team that had your back throughout the entire season.
You know what? I think that was him being mad at AJ Hinch for not going with him.
Maybe. Well, he did. It was 2 days rest. I mean, but the thing is that he definitely was.
He warmed up. He was ready to go.
He was butthurt over that.
Yeah.
Obviously, the answer.
I would be butthurt too.
The answer would have been a lot different. Obviously, if they won,
or
if he was put in.
Nonetheless, an awesome World Series.
Yeah.
This has basically helped us move on because we wanted to move on, and baseball's over now.
I've been wanting to move on after our sheer disappointment of a.
Yeah.
It's okay until 2020.
So guess what's going on now? We've got football, basketball, hockey,
the other major sports. Lot to talk about.
So football first, real quick. What's going on in football? I think we had Antonio Brown doing his bitchness.
Yeah, and then the 49ers, they're 8-0. Like, what is going on here?
Do you think the 49ers are real?
I think so. I saw them play against the Panthers.
Oh boy,
they
murdered the Panthers.
They murdered them. Yeah, like Emmanuel Sanders is like their running backs
good
are like
addition.
Cutting through the defense. Like
Emmanuel Sanders was a good addition to them.
Jimmy Garoppolo looks really good too.
He surprised me. So running backs are Matt Breida and Tevin Coleman.
Yep.
And Jimmy Garoppolo's quarterback.
Yep.
Emmanuel Sanders wide receiver.
Yep.
Deebo Samuel. That's like a rookie. I don't even know who's on the team.
Marquise Goodwin still on there?
They have a great tight
end.
George Kittle.
They
have a Dante Pettis because I always want to say
they have Richard Sherman on defense.
Yes.
They have a lot. Is it Nick or Joey?
Joey Bosa.
Joey Bosa. He was like
Joey Bosa, second pick overall.
Look, you never thought that San Francisco 49ers would be 8-0.
Mike Shanahan really. So they turned they were crusty last year, right?
They were brutal to watch last year. Well, Jimmy G tore his ACL after he got that contract.
That's right.
And then,
they had that guy play quarterback. Jimmy G did surprise me. Great Thursday night game. Usually
against the Cardinals.
Oh, yeah. You don't really see Thursday night games that are actually that fun, but it was the first pick overall playing against the second pick overall.
Oh yeah, it was Kyler Murray and Joey Bosa.
And both teams played very well.
I knew the 49ers were going to come out on top. They're clearly the better team.
But it was way closer than I expected, man. The Cardinals are still finding their identity, and Kyler Murray, he doesn't have any weapons at all.
Yeah, no,
but Kenyon Drake, they just got Kenyon Drake.
Really?
Yes.
I did not. I wasn't well aware.
I heard that on the radio today, and I was like, oh. How about that?
Well, it looks like the Miami Dolphins are having the desire to lose even more games, if that's even possible.
Tanking for Tua.
But anyway, man.
They're gonna struggle tanking, by the way.
I've also realized this. Have you realized the Monday night and Thursday night games have just been like terrible?
They haven't. They scheduled it so it was gonna be good, but the teams that you thought
were in it are terrible.
Yeah.
Like there was I think it was the Redskins and the Vikings. Like what?
Yeah, usually. But you do that in the middle of the season, like weeks 1, 2, and 3. You have those games still be good, but then in weeks 6, 7, and 8. You have the terrible teams play Thursday and Monday.
Yep, and then you have the teams that are like. Yeah, like you said.
You had the Jets and the Patriots play Monday night, and they tried to build it up, but it was the game. It was the game where what's the quarterback of the Jets? Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold
is when he was seeing ghosts.
He thought he was seeing ghosts, and then he had probably had mono at the game. He just
yes, like what he said. So that was a shellacking. That was where the Patriots won like 35-0.
I remember. That was brutal. How about like week 2? I think it was like the Browns and the Jets, and it was just
But Browns were so hyped at the beginning of the year, and
they were considered not World Series, Super Bowl favorites, and boy, have they been so disappointing.
With that pressure, they were 7-8-1 last year, and Baker Mayfield.
I thought they were going to make it to the postseason last year.
They got a lot of love, and they got a few more additions in weaponry, and with that has come
sheer disappointment. Miscommunication.
I think it comes from miscommunication. Freddie Kitchens is not an NFL head coach.
Nope, he is not. Baker Mayfield does not trust Odell Beckham, by the way.
I thought I overheard on the radio the other day that Freddie Kitchens took a 5-yard penalty to not waste a timeout.
That's exactly, I think, what.
And they were like,
was that the last game against the Patriots?
Yes.
Oh man, I want to talk about the greatest interception I've ever saw.
There was that shovel pass.
That little shovel pass. He tried to pass it, and then instead the
Patriots defender had great penetration.
Came in, and then you just I'm like, oh man.
Interesting pick six.
That's such a Browns play. Let that sink.
And then post game, there was a quote of Baker Mayfield. I guess somebody asked him something like, so were you happy with that drive? And it was obviously a drive that he's like, did I like that? We didn't even score points. I mean, Jesus, Tony. And then he storms out. So I paraphrase that. But bottom line is Baker Mayfield, you have to remember, all these star athletes are used to winning all the way up until they get to the highest levels.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because what ends up happening is the best athletes go earliest in the draft, usually go to the worst teams, and they have to get used to losing and get used to having negative post-game interviews. Now, Baker, whether you like it or not,
suck it up!
You are the face of Cleveland Browns football. You need to be the leader and have leader-like answers. Take notes from Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the least interesting man when interviewed. He's never said anything you didn't expect. So what you got to do is not have a temper tantrum and storm out of interviews.
Well, at least on the bright side, at least he did the interview, unlike Clint Frazier.
I was literally going to say, we have another story like that, Clint Frazier not doing any interview. But
think of it this way, Baker,
what were you saying?
I thought Baker Mayfield may be honored to be on the list of the 25 Cleveland Brown quarterbacks in the last 20 years. So.
Yeah, they had a stat where there was a new quarterback. There was 4 quarterbacks per year. They were constantly changing. They had Brandon Weeden. They had
Brandon Weeden. They had Johnny Manziel, Josh McCown.
Josh McCown was probably their best one. Savvy veteran McCown.
As of right now, yeah.
But Cleveland's gross. The Seattle Seahawks just claimed off of waivers Josh Gordon from the Patriots.
Good move.
And Mohamed Sanu went from the Falcons to fill in that spot for the Patriots.
That was probably wild.
That was cool because I had Mohamed Sanu on my bench. My wide receivers are stud, Mohamed Sanu, half stud. So I've never known if I should put him in or not.
Now I think you should because
but now with the Patriots.
Because he's definitely going to be more of a target than Tom Brady.
His value went way up.
Of course.
That's exciting.
Yes.
And guess what? I think Josh Gordon's going to play very well for Seattle because Seattle has supposedly great marijuana. And Josh Gordon needs marijuana.
Or Stephen A. Smith. Stay off the weed.
The weed! Whether you like rules or not, they're rules. You're a professional. Play like an adult.
Yeah, we understand you. It's Stephen A. Smith. Respect.
I love Stephen A.
Yes.
Stephen A. said something really funny today. He was giving love to Louis Riddick. He's saying, Louis Riddick, he's this, he's that, and he's also applying for the Chippendales. He was basically giving him some love and how he looks. Yeah. And Louis Riddick was being polite back and said, I'm just taking after you, Stephen A. I think you're doing the Chippendales. Stephen A. comes back with, I got a peanut head, I got a schnoz for a nose. Nobody wants to see this out there with no shirt on. So I love Stephen A.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, football, I don't even know why I'm wearing a Tony Romo shirt.
Yeah, first of all, I want to explain. When you walked into my house, I'm like, what in God's name are you wearing a Cowboys jersey when you know I'm a Giants fan?
I love Tony Romo as an announcer.
Yes, he is an awesome announcer. As a player, though,
he was solid. He was solid,
but when it mattered, he kind of just...
But honestly, I just wanted to wear a football jersey because now it's football season. And the only other football jersey I have is Ben Roethlisberger.
Ooh, that probably would have left a sour taste in Pittsburgh.
So as Pittsburgh is stinking it up.
And as my Giants continue to have Swiss cheese defense.
I like that Swiss cheese defense. But you are seeing a little hope.
I will say this, though. Daniel Jones is not the issue. He actually can throw to people.
Yeah.
And he's been successful.
Yeah.
It's his goddamn offensive line that can't protect him at all.
Yes, and what we noticed with Eli, who was not mobile at all, that offensive line that can't keep a solid pocket.
At least he moves.
Daniel Jones can move. He can slide. He can extend a play, change an angle.
Throw it out of bounds.
You wouldn't see that with Eli.
I don't see a lot of short passes. I actually see longer passes.
Actually throwing down the field?
Yes.
That's nice.
He's not afraid to do that.
And you have to know the Giants, who prided themselves on defense for years, all those teams.
And Lawrence Taylor, Michael Strahan for
people that could, Justin Tuck.
People
that could rush the passer. They don't have that anymore. They also don't have. They traded away Olivier Vernon. Or it was Olivier Vernon.
They traded away Olivier Vernon. They traded away Flowers, who we just faced.
Those
Landon Collins left.
Defensive backs and safeties. That dude who was their first pick from Nebraska. Who's now on? I want to say the Bears. It was like Apple something.
Eli Apple, I think it was.
No, but that's also another one.
Eli Apple, gone.
Either way, I'll remember who I was thinking of. Other than that, football. You got Aaron Rodgers, friggin' Matt LaFleur and him are now making out in the back. They're doing all right.
Patriots still.
Patriots.
They
haven't been tested yet, but we'll see. The Patriots' best defense of all time.
They're first.
Blah, blah, blah.
The reason why they're the greatest defense of all time is because they've been facing subpar teams.
They literally haven't faced a good team yet.
Yeah.
You got other teams. You got Kirk Cousins being called out and apologizing and now dominating. That's football this year.
Football, yeah.
But I want to talk a little bit about two things because we are low on time.
Yes.
I want to say something because we wanted to talk a little basketball, but guess what? It's a little too early. We'll talk about it next week.
It's only been 5 games. Let's just say there's a huge flip-flop of messes.
Yeah. One big flip-flop is the Warriors go from being elite dynasty to...
And then Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns get into a little cuddling match practically.
Yep, Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, big fight. Ben Simmons was politely choking out Karl Anthony Towns, trying to be a peacemaker.
And Kyrie Irving in his first 5 games is considered a bad guy.
Kyrie already being the guy that they should have known they already had, being the drama queen. And KD, when asked, can you do something about that and talk to him? You're his friend, right? KD says, and I'm paraphrasing, Kyrie, he's an artist. You gotta let him be, because I know what he's gonna bring every night in the court. You know what you're gonna get
on the court. He's been phenomenal on the court. Let's be honest there.
Yeah,
we don't know what happens off the court.
But another word for artist is high maintenance.
Ooh,
bitch.
We don't like. We
do know off the court, Kyrie would not take his hat off for a team photo in China. That's like, all right, guy.
First of all,
really?
You know me. You know I don't tolerate bitchiness. You know I also didn't tolerate when Kyrie got signed.
And Kyrie throws... You gotta admit, you were excited to get just talent in Brooklyn.
Okay, for once.
Yeah, you got talent. But Kyrie throws 50 in on the first night, but you lost.
But loses. And then he throws like 35 against the Knicks, and they won. And then he does his best to try to keep himself in the game. But then defense. Free throws, missing it. That game winner against Grizzlies, I was so depressed beyond belief when that happened.
Pretty much Brooklyn Nets, there you go. Plenty to talk about. Then you got other things like...
I hope they beat the Rockets.
You're playing Houston Rockets right now. I was just about to bring up Houston Rockets are trying to win a championship by having the most selfish player and adding the second most selfish player. You got James Harden adding Russell Westbrook, former OKC teammates, coming together to create one big... terrible game to watch.
This is already most selfish team of all time.
Basically, watch one guy dribble, do a shimmy shake, and
pass
shoot. No, passing. What do you mean passing? Whoa. They don't know what passing is on that team.
Oh, what are you talking about? This is James Harden, by the way. When he plays, dribble, one little touch, foul. What?
Yeah, right. Are you right?
So are you freaking kidding me?
The NBA is if he drives and he throws the ball up, and they call a whistle, then the guy who defended him is like. What?
Why is it so soft? Even Charles Barkley said it best after that Joel Embiid Karl Anthony Towns scuffle. He's like, That wasn't a fight. That was more like a cuddling match. I'm like, you're right.
Yeah.
The NBA has gotten soft.
So soft.
I don't like it.
A lot of sports getting soft. Yes, I understand protecting players, but the unwritten parts, like the little grunge matches down low, like the body checks, you can't be physical that much in sports anymore. Defense, you're not allowed to actually play defense. Is it because everyone wants to see more scoring? And nobody wants to see a defensive battle. We want war.
It's like a video game match every time I watch an NBA game.
We are actually trying to see gladiators. Our DNA is built to see competition where it's high level with stakes like life and death. We want to see some actual emotion. So that's all I got to say about the basketball.
Games in the 90s and 2000s, final score was like 75 to like 72. Now it's like 175 to 172.
Speaking of video games, you were debating buying 2K20.
Yes, because I have 2K18, and it's like a prehistoric event because LeBron James is still on Cleveland. And
that is weird when you have the old game. You're like, do I get the new one? And they're smart by not letting you basically do roster updates game to game because there's no reason to buy new video games for football or basketball because the only thing you're doing is getting current rosters.
Pretty much.
I just can't do it when you have LeBron on Cleveland. It's like, ugh.
It's like a prehistoric event.
I gotta get 2K20.
I saw players on the Nets. I'm like, oh wow, I haven't heard this guy in a while. Is he still alive? Is he still kicking?
As we end our session, and yes, we're already at minute 30, but we're going to take a couple extra minutes today because this is important to us.
Yes.
We're going to give some quick feedback on some feedback. We
got feedback, though. How about
we got
that?
feedback, and we love it. We appreciate. We're also going to give you a little shout out.
I can't wait.
All right. Quoting Jerry Setzer from Who Knows Where, these snowflakes never picked up a baseball in their lives. I love that.
I thought that was awesome.
Just want to say, and that was followed up by Vincent Ingoglia. Yeah.
Yep.
You're right, Jerry. I think soccer was their game against the girls.
And I would like
that
to
was
play
good,
some.
man.
I would like to play some soccer against the girls.
Yeah, definitely play some balls and soccer and girls. Wendy Fallis says, "Dumb thing I have ever watched." I think she was going for a dumbest thing I've ever watched. Okay. We appreciate that, Wendy. Thank you for thinking of us.
Absolutely.
I want to say, Jerry, calling us snowflakes, it just reminded me of my childhood because I am a very pale individual. I have no tan at all.
You are as white as a
I'm a ghost. I'm a snowflake.
You're practically a snowflake. I don't know why I am. I'm like an olive, practically.
You are olivey.
You are
Mediterranean.
I was thinking about debating if I should call this episode Life in Snowflakes.
Oh, we should call it Snowflakes. I love that, actually, because a snowflake is individual. Not one snowflake is the same.
It's calm. It's soothing. It's actually very pretty to watch, considering it's almost winter.
Oh, yes, winter is upon us. And any press is good press. We love this feedback.
Yes.
We do appreciate you guys. We're totally going to send this episode and this timestamp to you guys. Vincent, I just want to say, I would definitely play soccer with girls. I was not a soccer player.
Neither was I.
I played baseball and football in high school. I played baseball at higher levels. I got to play with the likes of George Springer. He played TCB with the Me. That was my travel team. And the higher level of baseball I got, my ceiling was basically college because you essentially can't be lazy, slow, and only throw 82 miles an hour, especially when alphabetically, my last name is Stolzenberg. Yeah. I would have George Springer go right before me in all the showcases. So he would throw an absolute 98 miles an hour from the outfield right to the catcher's glove. Then I'd be up and throw a moon lollipop all the way to the mound, trickle, roll in. And after George, anything after that looks not that good. And then there's me, who is already just a good hitter and pretty much bad at everything else. But I play baseball, so
he's the baseball player. I tried to play baseball. It didn't go very well.
Your baseball went just as well as that sentence went.
Look, I'm getting close to the. Yep.
Anyways, thank you. We love you.
Yeah.
Catch you later.
Rock and roll.
Bye. And yeah, by the way, we only panic because the battery level went die. So
yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.